Whenever I tell somebody that I have PTSD, usually one of the first questions out of their mouth is, "Oh really? What branch did you serve in?"
PTSD does not affect only the military. It affects firefighters, ambulance drivers, law enforcement, EMTs, cancer survivors, rape survivors.
People who have had near-death experiences, mothers who have tragically lost their child at birth. No one wakes up thinking, I may get PTSD today, but it can happen to anybody, and it can happen in the blink of an eye.
Someone committed suicide today that has PTSD. What are we doing about it?
We need people to be talking about this as passionately as they're talking about everything else.
And so what we hope to do with this series is enlighten any and everyone watching. The loneliness of PTSD, because I can't tell anyone, because I can't share it with anyone because of all the stigmas attached to it. That's what we're doing. So with this series, PTSD, the original series, we hope to show you some of the stereotypes that people think PTSD is. And then we hope to show you the reality of what people dealing with PTSD go through on a daily basis.
We're not trying to depress everybody. We want to show this in a true way while entertaining people. We want people to watch. We want to show the victories, because PTSD isn't all about depression all the time. We want to show what it's like all the way around so that people can get a true understanding of PTSD. As a filmmaker with PTSD, one of my biggest frustrations is every time Hollywood tries to depict PTSD, they turn me into a caricature. They go to the extremes, but they don't know what the f they're talking about. I have yet to see an honest depiction of PTSD in a film. It's always some crazy wacko going off the deep end, punching holes in every walls they can get their hands on, throwing stuff across the room, yelling, "This is my everyday," gun in their mouth every night, constantly drunk. Now they're homeless. That's not a fair representation. That's why people take 2 steps back every time I tell them I have PTSD. We want to show what it's really like, because there's laughter, there's heart, there's soul, but there's also tears and tragedy and anger. But you got to show it all. If you're going to have the discussion, you have to show every aspect of it before you can truly talk about how are we going to find the solution.
A lot of my friends with PTSD, I've asked them, why haven't you told your family you have PTSD? Their response, how would I say that? What would I tell them? It's time for all of us to step out of the shadows and step into the light.
When you look at filmmakers like Steven Spielberg, he directed Schindler's List. Now, could Clint Eastwood have done it? Sure, but not like Spielberg, because Spielberg is Jewish. He comes from that background. He knows that culture. So who better to tell that story? Me and my brother both battle PTSD. We've got a story to tell, and who better to tell that story than someone who has lived in this community for over 10 years now.